Inter, which is the principal radio. It's the largest of all the various French radio stations, where he says the sanctions against Russia must end. It spells the collapse of the entire sanctions regime. And we'll talk about the implications for that conference in Astana, Kazakhstan. But first of all, I'm very pleased to be able to announce that we will indeed be holding the first of what I hope will become a series of seminars. This is a seminar in philosophy and economics and organizing, and generally questions that pertain to world historical political activity in the months and years ahead. And this is going to be held on the weekend of January 23rd, 24th, and 25th. And that's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday the 23rd, Saturday the 24th, and Sunday the 25th of January. The location of this is in Silver Spring, Maryland. Silver Spring, Maryland. It's well within the range of the Washington, D.C. subway system, the Metro. Silver Spring, Maryland, and it's on the January 23rd, 24th, and 25th. I know I've received a goodly number of inquiries about this, expressions of interest, and that was a great help. I thank everybody who communicated with me about this. I haven't been able to answer all of them, but that was a very important encouragement, right, to keep going and to be able to find a place to hold this. Now, I'm not going to announce any of the details here because it gets to be too long, but I would just do two things. If you want to take part, we want very much for you to register in advance. So here's the way you register. You send an email to taxwallstreetparty@gmail.com. Tax Wall Street Party. TAXWALLSTREETPARTY @gmail.com. taxwallstreetparty@gmail.com. Include your name and your phone number, and we will get back to you with the full particulars about registration. And I'm just going to leave it at that, except the other thing to say is try to read in advance for this course. You're going to get a whole lot more out of it if you prepare yourself. The most fundamental, the most basic, obvious thing is get a hold of my book, Surviving the Cataclysm, Your Guide to the Worst Financial Crisis in Human History. Get the 2009 edition, which was brought up to date to include the main outlines of the world derivatives and banking panic of 2008. So it includes the Lehman Brothers crisis and the, $27 trillion Federal Reserve line of credit for zombie banks, hedge fund hyenas, and others. So again, Silver Spring, Maryland, 23rd, 24th, 25th of January, 2 weeks from now. Register by sending an email to taxwallstreetparty@gmail.com. Include your name, include your phone number. We'll get back to you, and we'll be off to the races. In the meantime, read Surviving the Cataclysm, and if you can also read maybe with that, after that, parallel to that, I would get a hold of Plato's Republic and read, I guess it's book 7. I'm sorry, I don't have the reference in front of me, but the chapter of Plato's Republic that expounds on oligarchy, tyranny, democracy, timocracy, and other forms of rule. But in particular, the Surviving the Cataclysm. And I hope to see a number of people there, and there'll be more technical details about this next week. But please do now send your email request, taxwallstreetparty@gmail.com. Include your name and your phone number, and you will hear from us very soon. And I'm sorry to say, even those who have sent me emails, you better send another email to this address now, because we've had to reorganize the way this works, technically, administratively, and so forth. Okay, so here's the story now. Hollande, 48 hours before the shooting starts at Charlie Hebdo, Hollande essentially announces that he is going to wreck the sanctions structure of NATO against Russia. He goes on to say he will not invade Libya on his own. There had been pressure for that. Obviously, people in London, Washington, would like to see France bogged down in a new Algerian war, in this case in Libya, or a new Indochina war. A new Dien Bien Phu was being created for France by the Anglo-American geopolitical boutique. Hollande is not buying that. Rather, you notice Hollande is intervening in Africa where he thinks it helps, where he thinks there's uranium in places like Mali or the the Ivory Coast and other such places. And we've been critical of those. And then there's this question of the Astana conference. Imagine, one thing is if you have Merkel as a hopeless case of imbecility and submission and absolute subordination. If you had Merkel and France and Ukraine lining up against Putin, then Putin is isolated. But if it's France and Putin against Germany and porno, well, that's a whole different story, isn't it? And it means that the ability of this awful Merkel to do the bidding of the State Department will be significantly reduced. And you can bet that if those Mistral-class warships are released to Russia, there will be pure hysteria coming out of the State Department, pure hysteria coming from that Kiev fascist clique. Okay, so we've got all these questions. France is setting up a military base in northern Niger, 100 km from the Libyan border, south of it. France is operating drones out of Niger, but this is all uranium-oriented. It's not oil-oriented in the name of what London and Washington might want. And then we get down to Greece, right? On the 25th, we're going to have the Greek elections. We hope to have a report about that from Athens here in this program. But the question is, no longer says, careful, get your pictures, they're protesting. We'll get more about that in just a second.
Time and time again.
You need to come here and help us. We need assistance, please.
Those we should be able to depend on let us down.
Federal and state and local officials saying help is on the way. Well, the folks here in Belle Harbor say, show me.
Don't depend on the government to save you. Take action now so that you're prepared for the next disaster with MyPatriotSupply.com. Get the best prices on storable food, non-GMO seeds, water filtration devices, home canning equipment, survival and self-reliance books, and more at MyPatriotSupply.com. Call 866-229-0927.
We are hurting down here and we need help immediately.
Before it's time to survive, it's time to prepare. MyPatriotSupply.com. MyPatriotSupply.com.
We live in a complicated society. Stressful issues are always popping up. Have you ever been treated unfairly by someone? Have you ever been overcharged for a repair? Have you ever signed a contract or a document? Worried about identity theft? How many times have you been in those unique situations where you just wanted to call an attorney to find out if you're right or wrong, or what your legal rights are? But every time you think about calling an attorney, what do you think about first? That's right. Who do you call, and how much will it cost? Our friends at Legal Shield have found a solution. With a nationwide network of 6,900 attorneys who average over 19 years of experience, Legal Shield's law firms take over 40,000 calls per week helping their members. For less than $20 per month, you can have access to Legal Shield on everything from the trivial to the traumatic. Let Legal Shield stand up for your rights at lsprotection.com. That's lsprotection.com. Or call 855-340-SAVE. 855-340-7283.
Results will vary from case to case.
You have all seen and heard about the elements of the periodic table. These elements are the building blocks of everything in the universe. You, my friends, are made from these elements. A shortage of any of these important trace elements can lead to disease. Go with the science and take the Lady Talk Health Challenge and get all 90 essential trace elements with a healthy start pack at LadyTalkLive.com or call 855-333-LADY. That's 855-333-5239.
Research shows it's not just what you put in your body that counts, it's what you put on it as well. Why not use an all-natural, healthy mineral-based makeup that actually benefits your skin? Once you experience the airiness and flawless coverage of Longevity mineral makeup, you will never use anything else. With Longevity, the perception of your complexion will be natural perfection. Animal-friendly mineral makeup at Mary Lou Health. That's MARILU Health.com or call 855-321-HEALTH.
What good is a Big Berkey water filter?
We get that question a lot here at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. And in a word, the answer is protection. Protection from water main breaks, E. coli contamination, environmental chemical spills, pesticide runoff, chlorine taste and smell, and all forms of fluoride. Plus, Big Berkey water filters are the original gravity water filter system and most trusted on the market for a reason. Tested by multiple independent NSF EPA certified labs, they are the gold standard in water purification. At only 1.7 cents a gallon, a single set of filters can last for 5 to 10 years. That means big savings. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get a Big Berkey today at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. GCN listeners receive 5% off all ceramic filter systems. Visit our website or call 1-877-99-BERKEY. That's 877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
UnseenNow.com, proud sponsor of GCN. Unseen Now's unparalleled encryption tools keep your communications secure. GC.
Welcome back to World Crisis Radio. More on the landmark interview of François Hollande, President of France, 2 days, 48 hours before the shooting started at Charlie Hebdo. He announced the end of the sanctions against Russia for all practical purposes. If France exits the sanctions, then the sanctions essentially cease to have any meaning at all. We'll talk about why he might be doing this. And then the question of Syriza. Parenthesis now is that Merkel, in her consummate stupidity, has based her entire rhetorical posture on this idea, well, if you Greeks, right, if you lazy bums down there, if you vote for Syriza, I'm going to kick you out of Europe. Well, easier said than done. She wants to kick Greece out of Europe. She's covering her right flank from the xenophobic racists of Alternatives for Germany, right? They ran their whole European campaign, kick out the Greeks. So that's Merkel. And Samaras, the reactionary austerity ghoul, NATO, IMF, EU Commission, Troika enforcer in Athens. Samaras is the same thing. If you vote for Syriza, you're leaping into the abyss. Greece will exit the euro. And as I told you last week already, no, no, and no. There is no Grexit. There might be a Rauschmiss, right? There might be the throwing out of Greece. But that's not an exit. It's not an exit. It would be an expulsion. The Grexpulsion is what these reactionaries from Samaras to Merkel are talking about. So the big issue then is, would Hollande parrot the same hysterical Merkelite and Troika and Samaras rhetoric? And the answer is no. He said, Greece is free to choose their own destiny. We want them to respect their agreements, but they can decide that. Obviously, the Greek government should respect its agreements. Merkel, by contrast, had said,